So my name is Austin Forey. I'm a managing director and portfolio manager at JPMorgan Asset Management. And among my responsibilities there are to manage emerging market equities on behalf of the IG group, which is what we're talking to you about today. Well, I've worked through crises before, and I would say this is a classic market crisis. You've had sharp falls in equity markets because of the coronavirus and its impact on the world economy. And it's probably worth saying that every crisis sooner or later becomes a financial crisis, and it has a lot to do with liquidity, and this one is no different. But there's probably two differences this time around. The first is that it's not something that's come out of economic causes in the first place. It's obviously a pandemic instead, and we don't know the duration. But I guess what I would say is that it will have a finite duration. It's a bit hard to know at this stage what the financial impact will be, but you've also seen an unprecedented response from governments to make sure that we can get through this without too much economic pain until the stats on the virus start to turn around. So a couple of words about how we go about managing emerging market equities for the IG group. We are long-term investors. We say that unashamedly. We've had a long-term view of our investments, and we tend to hold companies for a long, long time. That means we always have a bias towards stronger companies, very competitive businesses, companies with strong balance sheets. We don't change the portfolio very much. And it follows that in a downturn of the sort that you're seeing, there's not a huge amount we want to do. We're pretty comfortable with the portfolio as it was going into this. And we think the drivers which worked over the previous years will continue to work as we come out on the other side. Okay, so what are we doing at the moment in these conditions? The first is that we have, as I said before, a long-term view. We don't tend to change the portfolio very much. To the extent that we're doing anything, we are trying to lean into the crisis a little bit. So that's take a bit more risk on some of our strongest and best positioned financial names. We've added some exposure to stock exchanges this year. That's an area that has gearing, if you like, to capital markets, but doesn't typically carry balance sheet risk at all. Stock exchanges are very strongly financed businesses, so we've added some of that. Otherwise, we tend to stay with our stocks for a long time, and we think that most of them are very well positioned to come through this and come out the other side even stronger. So we're likely to stay with the vast majority of the portfolio. So I think it's important at this time to stress that, as your portfolio managers, we're still functioning normally. We're sitting at home, but the organisation is doing what it always does, and we're working hard to try and uncover investment opportunities as we always do. I think I should also say that some of us, and I include myself particularly here, are old enough to have worked through crises before, so we know what it feels like. It's not pleasant, but we also know that it doesn't last forever, and it's very easy in a market crisis to get super pessimistic and give up on stuff. The world isn't going to end, the crisis will come to a close, and markets will resume normality in the long run, and we have to continue to operate on that basis, and we're doing exactly that. Finally, I'd say that our process has been tested through downturns before. It's worked okay in the past. We think it will continue to work in the future, so you should understand that we're very committed to what we're doing for you, for all your clients, and that we think that as we come out of this crisis, we'll be able to continue to deliver strong results for the IG group and its clients.